Donovan. We're out of our normal comfort zone. We're live at Salford City Boxing Academy. Same format as normal, but like I say, we're in a boxing gym instead. Thank you for watching us, and if you are watching from home, please do continue to share it. Let's get as many people on board with this amazing TV program as we can. The next people I'd like to introduce up to the corner to talk to. I'm not going to tell you too much about them. I'm going to let them do that. They've got a great, amazing project coming up. Will you please welcome Coco and Gino? Here's Gino. Here's Gino. Sit down. Welcome to MMTV. Right, first of all, I'm going to let you tell us about this project you've got coming up in a minute. First of all, Coco, before we go no further, you've got some pretty special genes in you. For people that are watching that don't know, Coco is the daughter of Sean Ryder and the granddaughter of Donovan. Check that out. How special's that? What was it like growing up with people like that in your family?
Well, to me, obviously, it's just my life, you know, it's normal. But as you grow older, you start to realize you know, you're living in a kind of different world. And it's like, you know, going into down the rabbit hole, you know. It's a different world, wonderland. But no, it's been...
Did you find that growing up as a kid, everyone wanted to be your mate and loads of people were jumping on the bandwagon, loads of people wanted to come to your house because of who your family were?
Actually, no, kind of the opposite, because I went to school in a public school in Ireland, right? So like in the middle of nowhere, and it's actually more like, you know, you get shit for coming from a family like that. You know, people give you shit for it. So I had quite a few bullies, but I don't know. I dealt with it really well, because for me, it's like it's not an issue. Like, you know, someone pulls my hair, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's your problem? You know. So yeah, no, it's been.
You were just saying then you went to school in Ireland and all that kind of stuff. Manchester is well and truly your roots. It's going to be with your dad like Sean Ryder, innit? Let's be honest. You've been based in Florence for a while, so it's really, really good to see you back in Manchester. Well, you've been over there. You've been making a great, great name for yourself, not as the daughter of Sean Ryder or as the granddaughter of Donovan. You've been making a massive name for yourself over there as a physical artist and performer. What is that? What does that involve?
Right, well, when I moved to Florence, I really didn't have any idea what I was going to be doing. I just wanted to go to an art school and kind of, you know, learn a few things. And then after, you know, about a year, I started meeting different artists and started collaborating together. And we did this short film, only like 4 minutes long, where I kind of got a little crazy, started drinking wine, pouring wine all over me, like smashing bottles of shit. And then when a few people watched that film that we made, they said, you know what, Coco, you're a performance artist. And I had no idea. Like, I thought the only way that I could express my creative ability was through painting or drawing. Like, I didn't consider any other format or channel. So yeah, I got into performance art, and obviously, you know, it's in my blood and in my genes. And I have to say, it's an absolute honor to be here in Manchester and be around all the people from, you know, from my roots and from my family. And I'm really happy to be here with all of you guys. And yeah.
True Manchester girl. I was talking to you before, and I'm having a great chat with you, and you're saying, like, you know, it's great to be back in Manchester, like you just said, and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that you're doing in Florence, every city, every country has its own culture. We know what Manchester's famous for. Do you think you would have got the opportunities as a performing artist in England that you have done in Florence, or do you think it's because it's the way of life over there, they're much more into that? Do you think you'd be doing what you were doing if you'd stayed in Manchester?
You know, life is a funny thing, you know, like, I don't think it's got anything to do with where you are or what country you're in. It's who you are inside and, you know, your creative ability. And if you want to follow a path, you follow it, and then things just kind of end up blooming into your life. So I don't think it makes a difference whether I'm in Florence or Manchester, but I do think that it's important that I reconnect with Manchester and that I collaborate with the artists here back home, because it is a very different scene in Florence. And, you know, because Florence, it's all really old school Renaissance art, old museums. Like 70% of the world's heritage art is in Florence. So when people go to Florence, they go there because they want to see the old school. But that's why it's a good place to learn. It's good to learn about the technique. It's good to learn about the history. But for like up-and-coming new artists, it's not really the best place to be. So to go to Florence and to learn the history, learn the techniques, which, by the way, I'm going to Accademia di Arte, which is an amazing school in Florence, because it's like an art studio, and all the teachers are like individual artists themselves, and they've all got something really special to offer to the students. So it's a good place to learn, and it's a good place to find yourself. But it's absolutely necessary to get out into the world, reconnect with Manchester, go to reconnect with London. Even my first exhibition, my paintings was in Dublin, and that's obviously where I grew up, because my father Sean and my mum Oriel, they moved from Manchester to try and get away from the crazy lifestyle back in the late 90s, to try and start a family. So they went to Ireland, moved to the countryside. And but there is a great art scene there too. So it's.
We're going to talk more in a minute about the project you're doing with Gino, but we'll find out more about that in a minute. Look at this. It's all happening. First of all, before we talk about the project you've got with Gino at the moment, it's the first time we've met tonight, and it's been great listening to your story and stuff. Are we going to see more of you back in Manchester?
Absolutely.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. Right, now, sat next to you, right, is a fella called Gino, who has been well known on the music and entertainment scene for over 40 years. Long time, that fella. Before we talk about this project, how do you two know each other?
Actually, like, my mother was the one that introduced us. You tell it.
Wenatchee Tribe put me on to your mum. Yeah, and they said, listen to this boy, and then la-di-da and dee-dee-dee. And then we were asked at the end of the day to do a very simple thing, but it wasn't very simple at all. There was a, you know an ainen? And I say a nay.
I don't know how to say it.
You say potato, I say potato.
I've only seen it from the writing, so.
Okay, well, just say a nay. Yeah. Anyway. So there was an exhibition of her the illustrations for her books that was going on a world tour, and we were asked to provide a video for that. And so I immediately went to Coco, and Carrie Lawson, who's out there somewhere, who actually sang the actual poem that runs through it, and that's running now. It's in LA at the moment. And it's just going well and well, and we used, is that the right word? Coco as the muse within the whole thing, and she was the, you were the theme throughout the whole thing. You were an ainin.
Maybe a muse, I don't know.
Yeah, or amused, I'm not quite sure. But either way, what happened was we did this, and now we have. Well, we're making a tune, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
We're making one single tune. And apparently it's for Never Dream of Dying, the new Bond film.
Right. Good stuff, ain't it?
And so her and I are going to put this together.
Hello. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's basically that.
So you've got this amazing project coming up that the two of you are doing together. There'll be people watching at home now, MMTV, people in the studio audience thinking, it sounds great that. I want to follow the progress. Where do they find out more about what you're doing? Where do they find out more about your collaboration?
No, we're hideously secretive. We are dreadfully secretive, and we just do these things on the hoof, and we just make them as we make them. And, well, you will hear it.
Find us on Facebook, obviously.
Obviously.
Well, we've done a few collaborations before, so we've got a couple of videos out there. Obviously, the thing with Anise Nin and Colette, and you can find that on Facebook. I don't know which page it's on, but you can follow us that way.
Stunned and slightly amazed, and so that's exactly what we do.
Well, listen, it's really, really great to hear you about your project. Thank you for joining us on MMTV. You get yourself to the bar, pal, yeah? Go and get yourself a drink. Will you please make some noise? It's been brilliant having them on the show. Coco and Gino, thank you. Cheers, fella.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, now then, we have got some more live music coming up in a little bit with Alias Kid, but we have got a very, very special guest indeed. Will you please welcome to MMTV 7, if we can ask you to keep the noise down in the studio a little bit, please. If you could please welcome to MMTV 7, the British heavyweight champion, Hughie Fury. Who's not here? You can tell he's live. He's running late. We are going to get him on soon. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go over here now. In fact, let me make my way over here. We're going to introduce